been well supported, a winner of a trial on this track from the strong Greg McDermott stable at Wagga. Is my Distorted Humour. Moggs has had backing too, number 5. Down the track at its only start on the Sandown Hillside track back 28th of April. But from Brian Cox's Wodonga stable, this gelding by Archway has had good backing here. Armour Lover, number 8, is also in the market. It's been placed its last 2 starts at Corowa and Albury. And Armour Day, drawn wide, but has given some chance too, back from a spell today. The 6 and 7 are making up the top 8. And as I said, Nick Robin is trackside for all the colour of Wagga Cup Day. Let's head to Nick and say g'day at Wagga.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon to you and hello to the viewers at home around Australia. We're here from beautiful Wagga Wagga in the Riverina of New South Wales on Wagga Wagga Gold Cup Day today. $100,000 going down. Should be an absolutely marvellous race. All the heavyweights are here. Jim Cassidy's ready to defend his title. He won the race last year, of course, on Chrysler Mirage for Graham Rogerson. Graham's got a pretty big team of horses here as well today. Also, Barbara Joseph is here as well with a pretty big team, and they're probably going to be looking to take a few of the races out here this afternoon. The Harvey World Travel Wagga Wagga Gold Cup will get underway at about 10 minutes past 4 this afternoon. $100,000 up for grabs. We'll chat with some of the jockeys and trainers and bring you up to date with all the late mail from on track here at Wagga Wagga this afternoon on what is an absolutely magnificent day. Sun is out, shining brightly, about 22 or 23 degrees. Very pleasant in the sun. Might just get a little bit cooler later on, but certainly won't be too cool if we tip and back a few winners. Thanks, Chris. Back to you and have a good day.
All right, Nick, thank you. And the late mail in the first, 4, 13, 8 and 15. 4, 13, 8 and 15. They are starting to get set. Pretty open race, this first event on the card. But let's head to Alan Hull for race 1 on Cup Day.
And Moggs is at $6.50. Hello, Chris. A very good afternoon to you and your viewers. Welcome to Wagga Wagga. Just saying it's a glorious autumn day. A little bit of haze about the horizon. But, Budgie, I don't think it's going to rain. There's some high cloud. It's going to be a terrific day of racing. They're moving up for the first. Pretty Fi at $4.60. Interrogator $5.60. Amasia at $6.30. Moggs at $6.30 is also being supported. Now, half of these 2-year-olds are in the barrier stalls. The rider of Lucifina is out of the saddle. It's going to be placed up riderless. Admiral Rogers went to an inside slot, stood quietly. Cowboy Bar is about to come along. Lucifina is being brought along for Ray Silburn, the horse going up with a barrier blanket. Out the back, we've got Pretty Fi and Amasia, Interrogator, also Armour Lover and Armour Day. So the 2-year-olds, many of them on debut here today, coming forward. Thanks, Les. Welcome to you and your listeners to Wagga Wagga, where we have all of our relays on board for the first event on an 8-event Gold Cup Day program under absolutely magnificent autumn conditions. Not a cloud hardly to be seen. Here's the light, the start of Mr. Vaughan. Admiral Rogers, school fees are well drawn. Amasia wider out with Armour Day, Armour Lover, Interrogator in the pink towards the outside. Starters on the stand. The 2-year-olds are ready. Cup Day is underway. They race. School fees is very slow to get going. And Pretty Fi and Armour Lover off wide gates with Amasia and Armour Day all began well. Driving through on the inside, Moggs is getting into a nice posse just behind the leading runners. They were being followed going forward by Orient Street and then arriving. Like a Beauty was wider out on the track. Interrogators very wide. In behind those horses, Admiral Rogers on the rail. Followed further back by Lucifina. Well back as Cowboy Bar, and last of all was Gold Bird. Now to the turn they run, and Pretty Fi on the inside with Amasia of the first 2. Armour Lovers raced up behind them 3 wide. In behind them is Moggs on the rail, being followed by Orient Street, and wider out you've got Armour Day. Admiral Rogers is running a bit of a race wider out. They're below the 250 metre mark, and Pretty Fi tackled by Amasia. Armour Lovers still there on the outside, but is green. Down near the inside, it's the Murray colours. Pretty Fi is just in front. Amasia's having a dip. Pretty Fi's in front. Bede Murray's got another one at Wagga. Pretty Fi on the inside, just one from. On the outside, Amasia. Admiral Rogers was wider out. Moggs is in the middle. They were being followed further back then by Lucifina, Orient Street. Armour Lover further back in the field with Cowboy Bar, Armour Day. Now further back on the outside of those was School Fees, followed by Gold Bird. They were followed further back in the field. Midfield pulling up was Interrogator, raced wide throughout. Like a Beauty has finished well back, and arriving is going to be one of the last ones home. Number 13, Pretty Fi. Trained by Bede Murray, who's been coming for 28 years. Only once has he gone home, not with a winner's check, and it won't happen in 2004. Good on you, Bede. Andy Bloomfield picked up the late ride when Digger McClellan was unable to arrive on course on time. And, well, Andy rode it perfectly. The former Wagga rider now down with the Murray stable. Number 2's run second, Amasia, and number 1, Admiral Rogers, a nice run out wide for third. The officials at Wagga, they're 13, 2, 1 and 5.
Another lightly raced one, but has trialled heaps of times, this gelding for...
late mail time, and Graham White. I did the late mail on the first, mate. I run 2nd, 15th, 18th and 21st. So we've got the heavyweights in now. Good to see you, Graham. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Nick.
Good couple of days again?
Yeah, it's been sensational. I thought yesterday's racing was great. Those outside horses from the outside barriers that didn't stop them, they just kept winning from wide alleys, and it could be the case again today.
Could be. Now, what about race number 2? What did you like in the second?
Race 2 here, Nick, I thought that Windbreaker would be very hard to beat. He's one horse that has drawn a little bit, and I think from the Tim Martin stable, he'll be very hard.
R&B's, they're right. Dubwana. King of the Bounty racing now. King of the Bounty dwelt. Ladro was very, very slow to get going as last on settling down, and Thrilly Cole came out of the gates really quickly and went to the lead. Going through quickly was Seymour Girl up towards the leading runners. King of the Bounty's next along the inside, and Aragan began well. Now they were followed by Burren Breeze, who's up there early, and Balladeer Furball are all in that leading group of runners. Over on the inside, moving forward, Thumper Maloney being followed by Dubwana. This favourite's back about 4th last. Just in front of it were King's Tide and also Priceless Reason, and then Windbreaker, who's only got 2 behind it, and they were second to last on the inside. Arroyo, and Ladro was last of all. They're thundering down to the corner, and Seymour Girl down along the inside, one of the leaders with Thrilly Cold when they turned. Aragan's on the outside of them. Adversar is just in behind that leading group of runners. Dubwana is next in the field, and Windbreaker's a long way back down near the inside. Aragan out 4 and 5 wide out after them. Thrilly Cold and down near the inside, Seymour Girl. Here's the top weight Adversar. Priceless Reasons looking for a run through, and wider out King of the Bounty and Dubwana and Windbreaker. Robinson's got the favourite into the clear, and it is home. Windbreaker bursts through the ruck, and away he goes. Big win. Windbreaker won it. King of the Bounty second, tight for third. Photo, Aragan, and also Priceless Reason. Adversars up close with King's Tide, and then Dubwana. Seymour Girl ran a good race for a long way. In that group was Arroyo. It was being followed by Thumper Maloney, and then Thrilly Cold, Burren Bees. Balladeer as well back. Ladro finished well back into the field, and Furball is one of the last 2 or 3 pulling up across the line. Well, you wouldn't have wanted tickets on the favourite turning for home or at the 200. But Robinson has been able to get this quite big galloper through a pack of runners in the last 150 metres. He must have passed 8 or 9 horses. And number 11, Windbreaker, ridden by Alan Robinson, is first. Number 6 got the second. King of the Bounty, Digger McClellan. And number 9, Aragan, who was always whacking away with the leading runners, has held on for third. Number 14, Priceless Reason, has run officially 4th. That was a very, very good win. He was 3rd last at the 600, 2nd and 3rd. Now, they've broken the class record, which previously stood at 111.24. The winner has run 110.92. 110.92.
Making a valiant bid to try and catch Tom Yum, and assorted people on the track at the moment. So Tom has been corralled, so to speak, but he's going to head off in the other direction now.
Down near the inside, ready to race now. And they're off and running. Ichiku Prince was slow to get going, and so too was Devil's Duchess. Of the others, it's a fair break, and Lock the Clock is one of the first ones to show up onto the course proper. Going forward, Purple Coat in the early stages, followed by AWOL. Favourites trapped out 4 wide. Now moving in front of it was Danish Gold. So Danish Gold whipped around them, took over. Lock the Clock second, AWOL third. Then on the inside, Purple Coat being followed next by Mulwala Miss and Golden Lottery. Next on the inside of those is Marine Rhythm, being followed by Play Hard. Lamont's Girls out 3 wide around Lady Naive. Ichiku Princess second to last, and Devil's Duchess is at the tail. Lock the Clock again went through and led the field up towards the 1,000-metre turn. Lock the Clock by 1 length. Racing second was Danish Gold, holding third posse. On the inside is Purple Code. Favourite AWOL. Races in the all-red 4th and 1 out. They were being followed by Golden Lottery, who's on the inside of Mulwala Miss, and then Lamont's Girl, Play Hard, Marine Rhythm. Further back, Devil's Duchess making a run around Lady Naive, and Ichiku Prince Prince's back near the tail of the field. 600 to run, and the Gary Colvin colours are going to be first into the lane. Lock the Clock led them around the turn at the 400. On the outside then was Danish Gold. Cassidy's got out 3 wide on AWOL, who's starting to make its run down the middle. He's holding the top weight together. In behind them, Golden Lottery. Le Mans Girl is running on with Mulwala Miss. They're 250 metres from home, and AWOL burst to the lead on the outside of Danish Gold. They're going to fight it out. Further back, Le Mans Girl, AWOL and Danish Gold and AWOL. AWOL's in front on the outside, and AWOL, he's not going to go missing. AWOL comes away and wins. Danish Gold second, Le Mans Girl third, Play Hard fourth. In behind them, Purple Code. They were followed by Golden Lottery, Devil's Duchess, Ichiku Prince, Mulwala Miss, Lock the Clock, and then further back in the field, Lady Naive, and Marine Rhythm is the last one home. Number 1, AWOL, ridden by Jimmy Cassidy for Graham Rogerson, their first winner today, their third over the 2 days. Number 2, Danish Gold, Dale Spriggs, the 2 best back runners in the race, settled down to fight it out with 200 metres to go, and AWOL was just too strong. Trained by Graham Rogerson, ridden by Jim Cassidy. The winner is raced by G.A. Rogerson, P.J. Dorr, D.G. Rosier, M.F. Spowart, F.D. James, and P. Del and Paras, a 3-year-old bay gelding by Royal Academy out of Westland. He won out at the Albury Carnival. He went up to Newcastle and ran second, and he returns to the Southern District to take his second win on our circuit. Ridden by Jim Cassidy for Graham Rogerson. Number 2 second, Danish Gold.
And 6, Le Mans Girl will get third. So that was a good 9 and 7. Interpret is at $14. Mediterranean, a good chance there at $7.90. Gardner is at 11. 10 for Dan Scott. And Water Buffalo at $8.90's had good backing. Bolt Action 11. Another open race. You've got Bar Knuckle and Chinossery is given a chance too. It's at 12. DV in the market. $7.80 for Kiss and Fly. And Queen of Shamrock is at $12. Little money for What If. And there are others at long odds. So race 4, that's 10 minutes away.
Lazier. Lights have been exchanged to red. They are set to gallop. Starters on the stand. Racing now, Wagga Wagga. Kiss and Fly off the inside gate got away as well as any other runner, and Dan Scott was going forward. Barnacle and Water Buffalo are up in the early fight for the lead, and Gardner's driving forward, and there are a heap of them there looking for a front action spot. Bolt Action settling up about 4th. Then they go through to Goldworks, who's on the inside of Lightning Mitchell. Water Buffalo, the favourites, on the inside of Intemperate, about 7th or 8th, and being followed by Queen of Shamrock, and then the top weight approved. Further back in the field, Mediterranean's over racing on the outside of DV, and another one in the middle there was Chinoisier. What If has got well back, and another go was last of all. The leader is Dan Scott as they sweep up towards the 800, and Dan Scott took them down to the 700. Bolt Action second, Kiss and Fly third, 4th Gardiner on the inside, and 5th is Goldworks, being followed by Barnacle. Lightning Mitchell's in the next group of runners. Around the outside wide was Intemperate, Water Buffalo the rail. In between runners approved, Mediterranean's wide, Chinoisier's further back in the field with DV, and also well back Mediterranean. They're well into the lane, and Dan Scott past the 300. Kiss and Fly on the inside. Gardner's taking a bit of a claim out wide, and Bolt Action's between them, but Dan Scott inside the 200 is still the leader. Mediterranean starting to come down the outside, and Gardner's trying hard, and also coming through late was Goldworks. Dan Scott still in front. He's falling in a hole, but God, I don't know. Maybe Mediterranean out wide, or Dan Scott. Goldworks in the middle, a photo. In behind them, Gardner and a Butte race. Then Water Buffalo, Queen of Shamrock, followed by Intemperate. On the inside was Bolt Action. Wider out was What If, Lightning Mitchell, DV, Chinoisier, Kiss and Fly. Well back, another go. Barnacle finished well back and approved as one of the last. Number 3 out wide, Mediterranean. Number 3, Mediterranean out wide for Nick Suke and Tim Donnelly. Has swarmed home down the outside after Dan Scott had done all of the work. He just couldn't find one more stride on the line. And number 3 out wide, Mediterranean, has come from well back Nick Suke. It's gone straight into the frame, number 3. Number 5 second, Dan Scott, ridden by Digger McLennan for Tony Carricketstanis. Number 8, Gold Works, Matty Carl for Darren Bailey. Number 3, the winner, Mediterranean. Well, that's the ups and downs of racing. Tim Donnelly, of course, had his open class at Go Volare destroyed here last week humanely when he broke down.
Nice win, that. Mediterranean and Nick Souquet got the prize, $9 and $3.50 over Dan Scott and Gold Works. $37.50, $78.50 and $9.87, the trifecta of 3, 2, 4 and Wackamea, 9. Irish Letter here's at $12, so is Inflation. Dual Attraction, it's come up short. Good second last start at Goulburn. Hasn't won beyond 1100, but the 1000 will suit today, where it's won a couple of times in the favourite, 240. Generator, racing in terrific form, is at 370. Support for Hulavi and Gwen Starr. And down the bottom there, Ipso Facto given a chance, along with After Class, Jim Cassidy's right here at $10. So that is race 5. That is coming up in 12 from now. Feature sprint today, the Carlton Draft there at Wagga, and it's a beautiful race course, and that big crowd there for Wagga Gold Cup Day. We'll take a break. Back with more shortly on Sky.
And here we take out number 6, Hey Marlin. Tom Campbell goes on to number 9, Razonda.
About to get them, race number 5 at Wagga, the Carlton Sprint. They're off this time. Irish Letter left well off the inside gate. After Class was slow to get going, and Irish Letter, Gwen Starr are going fast with Hulavi. Inflation's driving forward in the early part of the race, being followed by Generator. Dual Attraction balancing up on the favourite, on the inside about 6th, the favourite. They were followed further back on the field by Ipso Facto with Wackamea After Class and Stanley Johns last of all. Up along the side they run. Irish Letter took them to the turn at the 600. Hulavi got to second, being followed by Gwen Starr. Inflation. Wider out is Generator. Dual Attraction is just tracking the leaders into the lane, being followed further back by Ipso Facto, Wackamea, After Class, and further back to Stanley John. Plenty of hopes as they race past the 300 metre mark. We're on the outside. Inflation burst up to grab the lead. Here's Dual Attraction putting its shoulder to the wheel. Down near the inside is Irish Letter. Good finish coming up. It's Dual Attraction out after them wide. Dual Attraction race to the lead, and Johns gets Dual Attraction home. Second placing Inflation, third Ipso Facto, in behind them Generator, Hulavi, After Class, followed by Wackamea. Further back then to Irish Letter, and well back in the field was Stanley John. One of the last ones home was Gwen Starr. Oh, good gutsy win by Dual Attraction, the favourite. Brian Johns had to work overtime from about the 200 metre mark home. He got to work on the outside, and Dual Attraction just kept giving. She's drawn clear to win it by nearly a length to Inflation, and Ipso Facto has run for the 3rd place. Number 3, the winner, Dual Attraction, ridden by Brian Johns for Ray Wheatley, trains at Callaroo down on the south coast. A 5-year-old brown mare by Ma Winner out of Venetian Jewel. She's raced by B.H. Schweitzer, R.A. Dwyer, R.R. Wheatley and P. Abriine. And the winner trained by Ray Wheatley, ridden by Brian Johns. Number 2, second, Inflation. Ronnie Stewart for Barbara Joseph. And at number 11's got the 3rd, Ipso Facto, who's run on well late. Ridden by Peter Robel for Greg McDermott. Now they scarp it along in 57.03. 57.03 the time of the last 600 sectionally in 33.35. With the official 4th placed horse being number 4, Generator, ridden by John Scorse. 3/4 of a length in favour of the winner. 3/4 of a length by 3/4 of a length both ways. It's 3/4 both ways. It's 3, 2, 11 and 4, the first 4. Dual Attraction, ridden by Brian Johns, to win the feature sprint race over the 2 days.
Snatch It given some chance at 12. 540 Overload, Fidesz, 550. Pimpala Warriors in the market, 13 for Crusaders. And Creanced, it's at 480. Sand City given a chance at 920. And Wimaway, it's at $14, and the others over 20. Now, these runners are about to move in at Ballarat with the favourite, Malachi, at 3.20, but there's been good backing now for Evening Gem, and with its recent good city form, it firms up to 4.40, and then riding on a storm 4.60, and little money now for Nicholas. Third up today, young Ryan Hinton to ride, is at 6.50. We'll take a break. We're back with more shortly on Sky.
Tab Limited favourite is number 9, and that is Creonst at 4.60. Number 4's at $5.20, Fidesz. Number 3 is at $5.40. Thanks, Les. We've got just about all of them in the gates, just waiting on the locally trained Snatcher, who was narrowly beaten in this race last year. Now, taken up by Peter Roble to complete the field of 13 for the marketplace. Smilly's on the inside. Mosquito stood well. Yoni is right. Creonst the favourite. Starters on his stand now, they're ready to go. Racing at Wagga Wagga, the marketplace fielder away, and a little bit slow to get going was Fidesz, and also Smilly on the inside. Wimaway burst away from an outside stall, and Overload got away quickly. So did Sansadi. Mosquito and Creonst is up to 5th early now. They were being followed by Shortfall on the outside of Fidesz, and further back in the field, making ground around the outside was Yoni after a slightly slow beginning. In the middle of runners was Z Action, being followed by Chrysatos caught wide. Third to last is Snatch It, being followed second to last by Smilly, and Pimpala Warriors back near the tail. Up to the turn they run. Mosquito down near the inside. One of the leaders with Wimaway. In behind those horses, Yoni's not far away, and Sansadi. Creonst are poised to strike when they enter the lane. They were being followed by Fidesz and Z Action, and Overload's getting up into the fight as they swing down past the 350 metre mark. There are many chances. It's Overload trying hard to come up on the outside of the leader, which is Wimaway. In behind those runners further back, you've got Creonst, and over near the inside is Fidesz getting through. However, Wimaway got to the front. Creonst and Fidesz right along the inside. It's finishing the race off very well. Storming along the inside, Fidesz, Creonst on the outside, but Fidesz has got through on the inside. Won it from Creonst and Wimaway. They were being followed by Overload. Further back, Snatch It, Chrysatos, Pimpala Warrior, Smilly. In behind them, Shortfall. Wider out on the track then, you had Yoni. It was being followed by well back Z Action. Mosquito knocked up quickly in the last little bit, and Sansadi looks to be one of the last ones across the line. Number 4, Fidesz is one. Ridden by Ernie Marchant for Gary Shearer. Number 4, Fidesz. Number 9 will be second, Creonst. Ridden by Jay Ford. And number 13, Wimaway, who's butted up from yesterday, has run the third. Numbers are 4, 9 and 13. Winner number 4, Fidesz. Ridden by Ernie Marchant. Winner is raced by Gary Shearer at Tatura for Quebec, a 4-year-old gelding by Forest Glow out of Centurial Star. Fidesz ridden by Ernie Marchant. Number 9's got second, and that was Creonst. Jay Ford for Matthew Dale. 13's run third. 13 being Wimaway, Digger McClellan for Bede Murray, and number 3 ran 4th, Overload, Scott Pollard for Gwenda. 19.93, 109.93 the time, and they've run 34.30 for the last 600. 4, 9, 13 and 3. Winner to pay $5 and $2.40, $2 for second, $2.90 for third. Quinella 17.30, exacta 26.10, trifecta 417.20, extra.
Yeah, Fidesz, Creonston, Wimaway, and fourth to over. Moo Ball is at 9.10. Craig Newitt rides. Masquerado at $11. The first of Graham Rogerson's chances. Artificial is at $7.40, and the other Rogie chance, of course, is Ashworth. Jim Cassidy, as you heard Graham say, with Nick, had the choice of rides, and he's riding this today. Ashworth, vanquished 5.50 and further over. All the jockeys just about to be photographed for the Cup. 4.40 Josiah, and Not Fussy 17. Oh, now get back into line there, boys. We haven't taken the photo yet. They've just been told. Here they all are. And the old attendant stands right in front of the camera. Hey, mate. And he moves away instantly. So there they are. The jockeys prior to the running of this year's Wagga Gold Cup. Some very good ones too. All right, they're about to go out there, and
Yeah, they're probably lower class wins, but still the horse has been performing okay.
Yeah, he has been performing well. I think the horse might be just coming to his end of his tether now, really. You can't take anything away from him winning 2 picnic races. But yeah, big step up in class
Yeah,
here.
right. But you're in the race anyway with a chance. But in the lucky last race, coming off a Maruya win is a horse called Dandy Jesse riding for Wayne Davey.
Yeah, look, to be honest now, actually won pretty nicely. Look, I'll be very, very hopeful. Trial very nice. A Queanbeyan to just finish behind Tartar.
Cup, and the runners will start moving in shortly. Now we've got some late mail coming through too, and we can head back there to Wagga for the late mail on the Wagga Gold Cup.
Coming into the big race of the day, the $100,000 Harvey World Travel Wagga Wagga Gold Cup. Beat some great results over recent years. Graham White's with me. We saw Cries of Mirage, Call Me Lily. We've seen horses like Noble Otto. He's the Prince. Goodwood win this race.
Yeah, like Barbara Joseph's won it twice, and she's got 3 runners, and Graham Rogerson's won it twice, and he's got 2 runners.
Yeah.
So the numbers could fall their way again, Nick. Look, it's a terrific field, very strong race. I've gone for horse number 11, Josiah.
Yeah,
Craig Martin's.
a lot of people are tipping that horse late,
Yeah, he's just got the good form, he's got the good jockey, he's got the good barrier, and he's got a nice weight. So I think that's going to be a factor here, the lighter weight.
Yep.
Number 3 is my second selection, Artificial. This horse got very good form. It's a Last Start City winner. The 1, Moo Ball, well, he's the class horse of the field, and Craig Newitt, he's been riding a lot of winners of the Country Cups and also in Hobart. And the 13, I'll give a chance to too, is Not Fussy. He's been racing in pretty good form, but look, there's a host of chances. I've left Vanquished out, and it's one of the top selections. So 11 for me, Nick, from 3, 1 and 13.
And a big crowd here too, eh?
Yeah, it's a great crowd. Just had a chance to get out there and about, Nick. It's always great to see on Wagga's big day that there's a huge crowd here.
All right, mate. Good luck with that tip on number 11, Josiah Punters. That's Graham's late mail in the big one, and we'll see him for the lucky last coming up soon as well. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Nick.
Good on you.
All right, Graham and Nick, thank you there at Wagga, where the runners are behind the barrier. A field of 16 to go around in this year's Wagga Gold Cup. And vanquished at 4.10, Josiah 5.20, 7.40 Ashworth, Moo Ball and Artificial, both good chances. Masquerado in a point now to 10. And the 13 and 12 are making up the top 8. I'll move them in shortly. Then we go to Cup. Vanquished at $4 in front of Josiah at 5.30. Ashworth at 7.40, Artificial and Moo Ball, both given chances. They're moving them up. So let's head back to Alan for this year's Wagga Gold Cup.
Now, Moo Ball's about to come up. Stratton's gone forward. Silver Bliss goes up. Kingston Shores and Vanquished are going to be the last couple. And so they're just about ready.